just always wondered why Hordak snorted like a pig in the cartoon when he looks like a bat. You think he'd do a lot more screeching? What is going on, everyone? This is Tom with another Toy Ramble, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, new Etheria Hordak. This is from Ross because I never saw these on a store shelf anywhere in my area. Distribution for this line has been not great. I'm glad that other people have been getting their hands on newer Masterverse stuff, but not so much in Long Island, New York. Not happening. But this looks great right away with the artwork. I love the design. I've always loved the design of Hordak, even though the Snake Men are my absolute favorite Masters of the Universe group. Hordak's design, and yeah, I still love the Horde, but his design has always been really cool. It's really neat. So this is I believe, the third interpretation of Hordak that we've gotten in the Masterverse series. So this one being new Etheria to complement the new Eternia line. So let's get him out of there and take a look. They did a pretty good job sealing Hordak away. I can't blame them. I don't know why. I really like that they have this little extra compartment for all of your accessories. Like you've got the main accessory right here in the tray, but all your extra stuff hanging out in this little box of contents. That's kind of neat. Always make sure you got everything out of there. Even the mighty Hordak is no match for plastic ties. And here we go. Hordak is free of his prison and ready for review. So, one of the first things I notice is, aside from the really, really nice head sculpt, get a look at those choppers. They kind of jut out from the bottom there, so he's got a little bit of an underbite, but he's got his typical bat nose. The coloring on it is very good. The head feels almost spongy, I want to say. It's got a lot of give to it. There's a lot of how is it kind of rubbery. You get the full do that with the bat ears there. And it's squeezing. It almost reminds me of one of those old erasers where you could pop the head right off and erase some pencils there. So that is interesting. It doesn't take away from it. It's just noticeable when you take them out and you're feeling plastic, and you get to the head and you get that weird rubber feel to them. It's got a little bit of, I don't know if that is paint or if that is just a smudge that wound up happening. Now it looks like it's coming off. It's just a smudge. Be aware on your Hordak, you may have some head smudges and a slightly tacky feel almost, but that is because of, again, the kind of rubbery feel of him. But let's not harp on that. It does look really good. It's a really good sculpt. I like that they got all of this great kind of bone detail going on there, especially on the skull. I love the way that the ridges are set up, almost part shell, part bone, almost like this is in it of itself a helmet, an armored skull over his skull. So that is very cool. Hordak has always had, like I said before, just such a unique design. I've always loved the way that the finalized version of him came out. It makes me appreciate seeing the concept series Hordak versus where they wound up, and I'm glad that they wound up on this. Hordak also is sporting his his band for the evil horde. They gave him some enhanced looking gauntlets here for the wrists. So up the lower forearms. So that's kind of nice. The chest armor is interesting. It's got these little slots, just decorative, and of course his typical horde symbol that looks really nice. Paintwork is very crisp on this. There's not, he's not overflowing with tons of unnecessary detail, but the detail that is on there, it's accentuated very well. Everything is very, very stark, very flat out. No, no switches. Doesn't look like anything is really smeared. So that's pretty good. Now, a little bit. Yeah, you can't get 100% every single time, but for the most part, very nice, very clean paintwork. The color combination on Hordak has always been one of my favorites with just a nice layout of black, gray, silver, and red, contrasting with the bone white of the head. So that's always been appreciated. This is, I believe, the third incarnation of Hordak in the Masterverse line. I think we had one based on the Filmation She-Ra series. We had one that was Emperor Hordak from the Revelations slash Revolution line that came out or a show that came on Netflix, and now we have more of a just straight kind of toy version of Hordak update for New Etheria, which is kind of interesting because he was originally in the lore running around on Eternia and then escaped to Etheria. So this being a New Etheria line is great for Hordak. Also makes you wonder if we're going to see some more Princess of Power characters, because I don't know what the legal whatnot on that is. But anyway, get a little bit more Hordak going on there. There's the back of the. I always like this too, like the back of the cowl, which seems very medieval. And one of the updates for Hordak, which is a welcome addition, being that he's always been bat themed. The Horde symbol alone is the face on the bat, gets us into the accessories, and right away he comes with wings for the first time in the Masterverse line. This is not the first time that Hordak has had wings. I believe the first time for that was actually the Ninja Turtles crossover version of him. I believe that is the first time we've seen Hordak with actual bat or some kind of wings, and they looked great. And I was really glad that they did it because it makes sense for Hordak, being what appears to be a bat creature, to have some kind of wing. So these plug right into the back there. You have your up and down, fold down to the back when they are at rest. And he looks great with them. I love this. This is a very welcome addition. I think the only thing that I would change would just be just some more paint work. I would like to see some of this detailing really get accentuated. If you just took black, and you could probably do this with a Sharpie or something. If you really want to do a quick and dirty, you just take a Sharpie, just run it along the edges here, just that, and leave the membranes this nice red. But these look really good, and again, the detailing on them, it's very nice. I like this a lot, and I'm glad that someone decided Hordak should indeed have wings. I hope this is an ongoing thing for future versions of Hordak. So Hordak comes with whatever is in this package here, and that would be his forged shield. Oh, as well as his blaster. That is really cool. So this is almost like a combination of both the Filmation and the original toy Hordak. So let's get that blast. Oh, does this go over the gauntlets? Oh, it looks like the gauntlets can stay on. I wonder if you can take them off. Yeah, you can take the gauntlets off. You can remove the gauntlets. Blaster plugs right on there. And then Hordak can ask people if they are talking to him, punk. The only thing it's missing, and I'm sure it's just because this line is focusing more on articulation and style as opposed to uh, action gimmicks, but the original version of this would have had a little button here with a projectile. You would have been able to shoot things directly out of this blaster, but that is not what we're dealing with here. But it still looks really good, and I don't mind this one bit. A very cool accessory for Hordak. Let's get your hand back on there. Hordak does not come with extra hands, which is interesting. But I guess because there wouldn't really be any reason for it. Like I said, most you would have him with maybe an open hand to look as though he's displaying magic or casting a spell, perhaps maybe a fist, but I guess unnecessary. And if they decided not to give us extra limbs or extra bits that are probably just going to sit in a baggie somewhere because they wanted to give us a very cool looking shield, wings, the blaster, and his very regal looking staff. That's fine. I don't need extra hands. Sometimes they are nice, but most of the time they just wind up in a baggie, in a bin somewhere with other parts. So Hordak is looking very good, very regal, very dangerous. He stands at about 7 inches. The cowl brings it up a little bit more, but he's about 7 inch, which is standard for the Masterverse line. He is a decent size, scary guy. Now let's get into that articulation. If I can get him to relinquish his shield, it's very attached to those things. So starting with the head, Hordak has a pretty wide range of motion. And you know what? The different material used for the head, I think, actually helps this because you have this kind of rubbery feel to it. It's not quite as pressed up against the ball socket here. If it was made of a harder material, which can be limiting because of the lack of give, but since it's that different material, he can get that all the way up there. It's not bad. Go pretty far down to look down upon his subordinates. Full range of motion there. We've got your full rotation at the shoulder. Swivel at the upper arm. And make sure his armband stays on there. Otherwise, he won't be able to get back into the concert. Double elbows are always appreciated. They're pretty decent range there. And full rotation at the wrist. There is, don't mean to be fresh Hordak, but there is a ab crunch underneath the torso section here. So with the armor on, or if you undo this plug, you can take the armor off. The articulation is not very noticeable. It's not a very full range because of the torso armor, but he does have rotation at the waist. A hinge in the upper thigh there. Also a twist in the upper thigh, a full cut there. Double knee, pinless, which I don't recall is, I've mentioned that on other Masterverse reviews. That's interesting. And they don't call it out like Marvel Legends does constantly. So applause to them for the pinless double knees. And a cut in the lower leg there. Hinge joint plus rocker for the ankle. And let's not forget those excellent wings. These plug into the back. I guess similar to Buzz Off. They just plug right in. You can pop them out. You can pop them back in. Just a simple hinge using friction. So it makes me wonder, in how many years will we have floppy Hordak wings? Not that many. These are pretty solidly on there. So unless there's a whole lot of Hordak action going on, these will probably be pretty sturdy for a while. Seeing Hordak at this scale, at this size, and knowing how much I enjoyed the Battle Cat that we got for He-Man and the subsequent Panther that we got for Skeletor that took way too long to do, by the way. Just way too many years in between Battle Cats and Panther, I might add. I would love to see Hordak get Mantisaur, because what a great Steve that was. I don't know if you remember the original. It was a giant pseudo-mechanical, biomechanical mantis, and he looked great. He was in Horde colors. He had a big red head, giant eyes, typical mantis look, and he was excellent. And I would love to see that for Masterverse Hordak. All right, so let's get Hordak hanging out with a buddy or two. Actually, let's first compare him with. Let's take a look at Hordak sporting his first set of wings, and this does what I was kind of hoping that they would have done with the Masterverse set of wings, where they had these sections in black and just let the red shine through in the membranes. I kind of wish that they had done that with the Masterverse version, which is it's kind of interesting because I kind of thought that the Ninja Turtles He-Man crossover line was not a cheap line, but there was some corner cutting, there was some reuse, there was a lot of that. So I'm a little surprised that with the Masterverse line, which I assumed would have a little bit more attention to these kind of details paid to it, does not have this kind of detailing in the paintwork. Interesting. But yes, wing buddies hanging out with one another. And let's set you up with the Stranger Things Hordak. And now, of course, because this ruined me on what I would love to see on Hordak, because I now think that Hordak should always glow in the dark. And I really wish that the Masterverse Hordak had glowed in the dark. He does not. He also does not have semi-clear limbs, which I also think would be a great repaint or a Maddie Creations exclusive. Get on it, Maddie Creations. Do the super niche thing that I want you to do. And just for fun, Hordak being appropriately disgusted by Transformers crossover, Skeletor, and I won't lie, I kind of wish that we had another wave of these coming out where Hordak is updated with, I don't know, Galvatron armor or something. I think that would work really well. So, at the end of the day, I would highly recommend getting your hands on the new Etheria version of Hordak. This is a really nice combination of both his original toy form plus some of the elements of the Filmation version of him with the addition of the arm cannon, the arm blaster. The upgrade with the wings, I think, is excellent. The detailing is really, really good. The sculpting, especially on the face, looks fantastic. So I think that this would look really great with all of your other upcoming Evil Horde members. We're getting a lot of them in the Masterverse line. They're coming out pretty rapid fire. So if you're assembling your Horde, I believe you can get the core Horde members right now. Shadow Weaver exists. I believe we have Leech. Mantana just came out recently, and they can start expanding and giving us other characters, such as Dragstore is already out. So give us more and more, and I hope that they don't hit the brakes with these anytime soon. Hordak is a great figure and would be a great part of your collection. Go out and get your hands on them. So, do you own new Etheria Hordak? And if not, do you plan on getting him? If you do own him, what do you think of him? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope that you have enjoyed this toy review. If you have, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell because the YouTube algorithm naturally hates everybody. If you like hearing two guys talk about toys, head over to Two Guys Talking Toys. Do a search in the YouTube search bar with the number two, no G after the talking, to enjoy myself and Dana as we discuss just kind of everything toys. The podcast is on hold, but we have a whole library of different topics that we have talked about ad nauseum. So hope that you have enjoyed that. I hope that you have enjoyed the review. And until next time, take care, everybody.